So during quantum gliding, my awareness moved from my head through to my lower abdomen and to my heart, and there was this pretty much continual movement. And I would say in that sense it gives you a whole coverage head to toe. There are points in the program where you can pause and settle back into a gentle, relaxed state, and that was a fantastic opportunity to almost be in the assessment mode and go, this is where I need to be now. But it was natural. It wasn't I had to consciously go there. The journey brought me there, and that's an extremely powerful part of this program. You're given guidelines, but your spirit at one point, or in my case, just opened me to where I needed to be, and that's where I became. Certain types of spiritual practices do involve certain kinds of energization exercises, which I tend to do very brief attention to my physical body, and I can't wait to leap into a feeling and experience of oneness and connectedness at a spiritual plane. And this, because I instantly noted that my body is needing to be much more in condition, gives me that opportunity where I don't have to think, oh my God, I'm going to have to do some physical exercise. I don't really want to do it because I prefer to be in this place. It gives me that, it allows me to do that and be in the spiritual frequency that I love to be simultaneously. And it's easy. This took me maybe 2 minutes and I was actually in my meditative frequency. So that's got to be a huge plus for people following any spiritual path. It's huge. Well, it's definitely unique. I mean, because I don't know anywhere or anything where this combination of the soul, mind and body expansion has been put together quite like this. As I was going through this, a lot of heat was generated during this experience, and that is a very good sign that my whole body was actually detoxing. The movement into wider and broader dimensions of consciousness was there. I have never personally experienced any synthesis of this nature ever before that is so easy to do. My sense also is that as you allow yourself to sink into this experience, you will become so concentrated in that energy. What's going on around you becomes less and less of a conscious concern, and you've entered more of a super conscious state. Lots of spiritual masters quoted to their teachers, I don't want to have a temple. I don't want to kind of make this a closed off issue. The message of oneness is for everybody. And it's not to say that their organization doesn't have a message to bring, but to bring out this knowledge to every day, to where everybody has the possibility of accessing it, is huge. My understanding of physical and mental ailments is basically we're looking at blockages in the energy field. And with quantum gliding, as you start moving physically and mentally and move into a dimension where your energy is moving into a space of wholeness is the best word I can describe, where your thoughts about whether you're sick or not sick, or you're right or you're wrong, become more to do with accepting what is in the now, is actually a frequency which allows your energy pathways to open more, because you've actually said, I accept who I am. And at that point of accepting who you are, the energy has the freest possibility to flow through your body. Quantum gliding will allow that. As the energy clears, the blockages clear in your body, it's as if they were never there. You don't actually remember them. It's though gone. There's commitment involved in here. There's a degree of a willingness, a devotion almost, And actually, if you do this long enough, I would suspect you'll just fall in love with it. Because the energy itself eventually, if not straight away, will take you to that space of wholeness, which by and large is entered through your spine and often via your heart, where all your energy centers are actually working in sync with one another. You'll fall in love, and you'll just go, you know what? This feels so good. Why wouldn't I want to do this? And that to me would be the natural unfoldment of what quantum gliding could do for people. Well, I hadn't ever, as I said at the beginning, worked on a treadmill at all. So I was a little kind of wondering how I was going to find this balance of moving my legs at the same time as opening to a greater sense of awareness of finer dimensions of energy simultaneously. I knew in my heart from the moment this whole concept was given to me that there was something incredibly right about it, and I felt the application was going to be huge. But when I actually stepped on to the treadmill and relaxed and realized, okay, even if I was a complete novice, it did. It only took about 2 minutes before I sank into a surrender mode, and it was like, okay, oh yeah, okay, whatever. And my mind stepped out of the equation, and I became the observer. I became the witness, and that was a very comfortable place to be, because my mind was there. It was saying, that's interesting. But at the same time, there was this sense of, I feel where the energy is going now. Allow this to happen. Wow, just go with it. And when that happens in any form of expansion of energy and consciousness, that's when you know that you've truly allowed nature to teach you, to feed you, and you can begin to glide, you can begin to float, and allow the energy to take you. Yeah, I was taken very quickly out of the realm of too much intellectual involvement. Yeah. I would urge anybody who's got even the slightest bit of interest in keeping fit and expanding their consciousness, wanting more abundance in their life, wanting the possibility of changing their mindsets and attitudes and beliefs whilst exercising pretty much every part of their being, I urge you to actually do this. Give yourself the opportunity. I'm talking about years of doing meditation. I started when I was about 19, I'm now 56. Different kinds of meditations, and I have not witnessed ever the speed at which I've moved into spiritual frequencies as quickly as this, and felt the calmness, and felt I was capable of witnessing what was happening to me. And these are all important parts of any meditative practice, whether it be transcendental meditation, self-realization, fellowship, Master Shah. There's always a need to step back and be aware of the journey as it unfolds. There's always a need to let go. There's always a need to be present. And ultimately, when your heart is being opened even further, you can't lose, because ultimately love is going to melt all those blockages. Everybody, anyone who's listening to this, these are hugely transformative times. People are wondering, where do I go, what do I do to move myself out of very difficult and challenging situations. I've heard about all these ways of changing my mindsets, attitudes, my consciousness. I've heard about spiritual teachings. I want to bring them into my life, but I don't have necessarily the connections. I'm not drawn to particular spiritual paths at this time, but I know and I feel that there's potential within me to change for the better at all those levels. This is so accessible. My challenge to you is to challenge yourself, to prove to yourself that this will actually change your life.